You wake up one day and realize something unsettling. Childhood felt endless. Summers felt like entire eras. A single year felt like a huge chapter of your life. And then suddenly, somewhere in adulthood, time starts accelerating. Weeks collapse into months. Months disappear into years. You stop remembering what you did last Tuesday, but you clearly remember something from 10 years ago. And the obvious question appears: why does time feel faster as you age? The answer is not mystical, it is not subjective. Life gets busy, nonsense. It is a combination of brain mechanics, memory encoding, and perception compression. And once you understand it, the effect stops feeling abstract. It starts feeling engineered. The first layer is ratio, not clocks. When you're 10 years old, 1 year is 10% of your entire life experience. When you're 40, 1 year is 2.5%. Your brain does not measure time in calendar units, it measures it in proportion to lived experience. So every new year is psychologically smaller relative to the total archive of your life, but that alone does not fully explain the feeling. Something deeper is happening in how your brain records experience itself. Your brain does not store time evenly, it does not record every day with equal resolution. It compresses routine and expands novelty. When you're a child, almost everything is novel: new environments, new social rules, new emotions, new physical abilities, new learning constantly happening. Novelty forces the brain to allocate high resolution memory encoding. That means more detail is stored per unit of time. More detail equals longer subjective duration in hindsight. So childhood feels long not because time moves slower, but because your brain recorded it in high definition. As you age, the system flips. Your life becomes more repetitive. Same routes, same conversations, same environments, same emotional patterns, same routines. The brain recognizes repetition and starts compressing it. Instead of storing each day as a unique file, it starts grouping them: workdays, normal weeks, typical months. This is energy efficient. Memory storage is metabolically expensive, so the brain stops wasting resources on redundant encoding. But the side effect is brutal. Less encoding equals fewer memory markers, equals less perceived duration. Time doesn't feel long because nothing distinct is being recorded. There's also a real time perception distortion happening. Your brain estimates time using internal event counting. When many new events happen, time feels slower. When few new events happen, time feels faster. A day filled with unfamiliar input produces dense memory stitching. A day of repetition produces almost no new stitching. So when you look back, one day is a rich timeline and the other is a blank blur. And the brain interprets blanks as short, but there is another layer most people miss. Attention changes with age. When you are young, your attention is constantly reactive. Everything is new, so everything is noticed. As you age, attention becomes predictive instead of reactive. The brain starts filtering out predictable stimuli automatically. This is called perceptual habituation. You stop noticing the walk to work, the sound of your environment, the small changes in routine. Your brain is effectively deleting experience in real time because it has classified it as non essential. And if you don't attend to it, you don't encode it. If you don't encode it, it didn't really happen in memory terms. There's also a structural illusion in memory reconstruction. When you recall childhood, you are not recalling continuous time. You are recalling highlights: first day of school, holidays, trips, emotional peak, important events. Everything in between gets erased or heavily compressed. So your brain stitches together sparse highlights into what feels like a long, detailed era. Now compare that to adulthood: fewer peaks, fewer emotional spikes, fewer first times. So memory becomes flatter, and flat memory feels shorter. There's even a neurological explanation tied to dopamine. Dopamine is not just a pleasure chemical, it is a novelty and learning signal. High dopamine states equal high time dilation in memory encoding. Low dopamine states equal compressed time encoding. Children experience constant dopamine spikes because everything is new. Adults experience fewer spikes because predictability dominates life. So the brain literally shifts from record everything mode into skip repetitive input mode. And this is where the illusion becomes self reinforcing, because once your life becomes predictable, your brain encodes fewer distinct markers. Fewer markers make time feel faster in retrospect. That perception then reduces motivation to seek novelty. Less novelty leads to even fewer markers, and the cycle continues. There is also a strange contradiction at the center of all this. In the moment, time often feels slow. A boring meeting drags, a repetitive task feels endless, waiting feels heavy. But when you look back, that same period collapses into almost nothing. This is because real time perception and memory perception are controlled by different systems. In the moment, time is measured by attention load. In memory, time is measured by stored change, so you experience two completely different timelines, one while living, one while remembering, and they diverge more as you age. So, what is actually happening overall? Time is not accelerating, your brain is filtering it more aggressively, it is storing fewer details, fewer transitions, fewer distinct events, and what remains is a compressed summary of long stretches of sameness. Yeah, which leads to the uncomfortable conclusion: the feeling that life is speeding up is not about time. It is about how little of it your brain is choosing to keep.